What if time isn't real? What if everything you've ever believed about the ticking clock, the passing years, the deadlines, the regrets, was just a story? A story told so well, so consistently that you never questioned it. Not once. But ancient mystics, modern physicists, and spiritual seers across millennia have whispered the same riddle. Time is an illusion. Buddha said, the past is a dream, the future is a mirage. Only the present is real. Einstein said, the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. And countless others, from Stoic philosophers to quantum scientists, are converging on one earth-shaking truth. Time may not exist as we think it does. In the next few minutes, we'll explore a concept so radical it may unsettle your deepest assumptions, but also liberate you. This is not just philosophy, it's science, it's ancient wisdom, and it's a revolution in how we understand life itself. So lean in, take a breath, because once you see the illusion, you can never go back. The invention of time. Time as we know it did not exist for most of human history. Before clocks, before calendars, humans lived by the sun, the stars, the seasons. Time was cyclical, not linear. It was something felt, not measured. The idea of time as a ticking line, moving forward from past to present to future, is a relatively modern concept. The mechanical clock, born in the monasteries of medieval Europe, changed everything. It transformed the sacred into the scheduled. Suddenly, hours were no longer experienced. They were owned. Ancient Stoics saw time differently. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events which happen. It was not a ruler over man, but a flow to be understood and harmonized with." In Eastern philosophy, particularly in Vedanta and Buddhism, time is considered Maya, illusion, the self, the ego, the past, all fleeting shadows projected onto the screen of the eternal now. Even in indigenous cultures, time is often circular. The past, present, and future all exist in a continuous loop. They don't see time as something we move through, but something we stand inside. So ask yourself, is time a truth or is it just a tool? Who benefits from your belief in urgency? And what would your life feel like if you stopped living on a schedule and started living in awareness? The linear lie, how we were taught to see time. We are taught from childhood to view time as a straight line. Past behind us, future ahead, and the present a razor-thin point between. But what if this line is a fabrication, a map mistaken for the territory? Ancient cultures never universally agreed on this timeline concept. In Hindu cosmology, time is cyclical, a wheel of endless creation, destruction, and rebirth. The Greeks had two words for time: chronos, the sequential ticking of the clock, and kairos, the sacred, opportune moment, timeless and transcendent. The Mayans, too, saw time as a sacred loop, intricately connected to nature and consciousness. But the linear view of time, solidified in the industrial age, served a function: to control, to produce, to schedule life around labor. Time became currency. We began to spend it, save it, waste it. It ceased to be a mystery and became a commodity. Modern physics now aligns more with the ancients than the industrialists. Einstein shattered the illusion of absolute time. In his theory of relativity, time bends with gravity and motion. There is no universal now. For someone falling into a black hole, time slows to nearly nothing, while for you it flows as always. What then is real? The block universe theory proposes that past, present, and future all exist simultaneously, like pages of a book already written. We are not traveling through time. We are flipping through perceptions. The Stoics, too, urged us to focus not on time's passage, but on its use. We do not have a short time to live, Seneca wrote, but we waste much of it. Time may not be real as we imagine it, but our awareness of it can still be profoundly meaningful. The eternal now, presence beyond the illusion. If the past is memory and the future is imagination, then what is real? Mystics across traditions point to a singular truth. Only this moment exists. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened. All that's ever real is now. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao-Tzu writes, time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time is like saying, I don't want to. Here, time is not a force outside us. It's a mental construct, an excuse, a habit, a prison. The Buddha said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. And Jesus echoed this when he said, take no thought for tomorrow. Modern neuroscience supports this timeless wisdom. Studies show that our brain is wired to recall and predict, but that happiness, clarity, and flow all emerge in states of deep presence. The moment we surrender to now, our breath, our senses, our being, suffering softens and inner peace arises. Eckhart Tolle calls it the power of now. In that presence, time dissolves, the mind quiets, the soul speaks. Even quantum physics stirs the pot. Experiments suggest that observation in the present can affect particles in the past, challenging our very notion of cause and effect. So what if now is not a moment on the timeline, but a portal, a doorway to something eternal? You are not running out of time. You are running out of presence. And presence is the only place where life actually happens. Time may be an illusion, but presence is the truth that illusion tries to hide. Time and the soul. Why eternity is closer than you think. If your body lives in time, what about your soul? Across civilizations, the soul has always been described as timeless, unbound by decay, indifferent to clocks. In Hinduism, the Atman or soul is eternal, cycling through lifetimes until it awakens from the illusion of separateness and of time. In Sufism, the mystics speak of a timeless place beyond the veil, where all truth resides, where moments blend and the eternal self remembers what the mind has forgotten. The soul, they say, was never born and will never die. Stoic philosophy hints at this too. Marcus Aurelius mused, "Time is like a river, a violent current of events glimpsed once and gone forever. Yet the soul, untouched by time, remains." Why does this matter? Because your suffering comes not from this moment, but from your interpretation of it, stretched across an imagined timeline. Guilt is a story from the past. Anxiety is a projection into the future. But the soul, it simply is, and it longs not for more time, but for more depth, more truth, more being. Modern psychology speaks of flow states, where time disappears and the self dissolves. Artists, athletes, monks, they all describe the same thing: timelessness, presence, transcendence. This is no coincidence. Perhaps time was never meant to be mastered, but transcended. Not filled, but emptied. The soul doesn't rush, it remembers. It doesn't fear the clock, it listens for the eternal. What if your deepest self isn't racing toward the future, but waiting for you, right here, outside of time? The calendar of control, how time became a tool of power. If time is not real, then who made it feel so real? Calendars, clocks, deadlines, alarms? The modern world has wrapped us in invisible chains made of minutes and schedules. But these were not always here. Before calendars, humans rose with the sun, ate when hungry, slept when tired. Life followed the rhythms of nature. Moon phases, tides, seasons. Time was cyclical, not linear, sacred, not mechanical. But then came empires, commerce, control. The Roman calendar reshaped time into a weapon of empire. The Industrial Revolution gave us factory clocks, designed not to free us, but to synchronize labor. We began trading our presence for productivity, our awareness for efficiency, and the result? A deep spiritual fatigue. We're always late, always busy, always running, yet never arriving. In Stoic thought, this is the greatest tragedy. To spend your life worrying about how much time you have left, rather than living well in the time you have now. Seneca writes in On the Shortness of Life, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Even Einstein questioned the rigidity of time. His theory of relativity shattered the illusion of absolute time, showing that time bends, stretches, even stops, depending on speed and gravity. If time is flexible, then so is your freedom. The question is, who owns your time? You? Or the systems that trained you to measure your worth in hours, deadlines, and productivity? To awaken is to see time as a tool, not a master. To live as if time is yours, and because maybe it never truly was anyone else's. And that is a rebellion of the spirit. Living outside the clock, the art of presence. If time is an illusion, then what is real? The present. That razor-thin moment between what was and what will be. It's where life actually happens, and yet it's where we spend the least time. We obsess over the past, rehearse the future, and miss the only moment that's ever real. Now. Spiritual masters across traditions taught one thing in common. Salvation, enlightenment, awakening, they all happen here in the present. Jesus said, "Do not worry about tomorrow. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Buddha taught that liberation comes from letting go of attachment, including to time. Lao Tzu wrote, "Time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time is like saying, I don't want to." Modern neuroscience confirms what the mystics knew. When you are fully present, brainwaves shift. The default mode network, that constant inner monologue, quiets. Stress hormones drop. Awareness expands. This is more than mindfulness, it's reality without distortion. Eckhart Tolle calls it the power of now, the portal to freedom. And when you enter it, even briefly, you feel it. Peace, clarity, aliveness, as if time had never existed at all. The tragedy of our age is not that we run out of time, it's that we run past the moment that matters most, endlessly chasing a future that never truly arrives. But what if you stopped? What if you stepped out of the clock and into this very breath? You wouldn't just change how you live, you would change how you exist. The liberation beyond time. What happens when you stop believing in time? You don't become lazy. You don't give up. You wake up. You begin to understand that time is not life. Attention is, presence is, awareness is. The mystics knew this. So did the philosophers. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Now." To die before you die, as the Sufis say, is to let the ego's obsession with time dissolve. And in its place, something beautiful is born. A life lived in eternity, not the eternity of forever. The eternity of this moment lived with total clarity, total surrender, total love. When you stop measuring your worth in what you've done or what you might do, you become free. When you stop chasing someday, you inherit today. And that is where meaning lives. Modern research in positive psychology echoes this. The happiest people aren't the busiest or the most successful. They're the most present. They feel time slow down because they are in it, not racing through it. Time then is not your enemy. It's not even real. It's a canvas, blank, waiting for the paintbrush of your attention. The clock may keep ticking, but you can step off the wheel. You can live as if now is enough. Because it always was. And that is how you transcend time. The invitation, transcendence. What if time was never meant to be managed, but to be transcended? What if freedom isn't in doing more, but in finally being here, fully? This isn't just philosophy. It's an invitation to wake up, to stop running, to reclaim the only thing that has ever truly been yours. This moment. You don't need more time. You need more presence. If this video made you stop, even for a second, if it made you feel something deeper, then don't let this moment pass like all the others. Subscribe to this channel, not for more noise, but for clarity, for light, for truth. Like this video if it stirred something in you. Comment below, what does time mean to you now? And share this with someone you love, someone who's running so fast they've forgotten what stillness feels like. Remember, time is not real, but this moment, this breath, this awakening is. Welcome to a new way of seeing.